Moving people across a city sounds simple until some cities started building buses so massive they look like giant trains rolling through city streets. Imagine vehicles stretching over 70 feet long, machines so enormous that some can barely make it around a street corner, with drivers maneuvering vehicles longer than many buildings. As traffic congestion continued to worsen around the world, engineers began creating true monsters of urban transportation, mechanical beasts with multiple articulated sections and futuristic designs, built because ordinary buses simply weren't enough anymore. Today, you're not about to see ordinary public transit. You're about to witness extreme engineering applied to machines that push the limits of human scale. From Germany's giant metal serpents to futuristic concepts that look decades ahead of their time. If you're fascinated by colossal machines, join us on this incredible journey and subscribe to our community of mega engineering enthusiasts, because these aren't ordinary buses, they're legends on wheels. Get ready. This is Colossal Scale, and we're kicking things off with Level 1. Level 1. Mercedes-Benz Capacity L Germany decided to take urban buses to an entirely different level. While most cities continued relying on conventional transit vehicles, Mercedes-Benz was building something much bigger, much longer, and far more intimidating. The Mercedes-Benz Capacity L measures over 70 feet in length. That makes this urban giant longer than many heavy-duty tractor-trailers. Yet despite its enormous size, it was engineered to navigate busy city streets every single day, weaving through traffic lights, pedestrians, intersections, and endless streams of cars. But that's where the real challenge begins. The longer a vehicle becomes, the harder it is to turn. And on many narrow European streets, there's virtually no room for error. That's why Mercedes had to develop sophisticated steering and stability systems capable of keeping this massive machine under control, because one poorly calculated turn could easily block an entire avenue. And that wasn't even the biggest challenge. The goal behind the Capacity L wasn't simply to build a larger bus. It was to move dramatically more people without flooding cities with hundreds of smaller vehicles. So Mercedes designed an enormous interior capable of carrying more than 190 passengers, essentially a transit station on wheels. But the most impressive moment comes when you see it parked beside a standard city bus. The size difference is almost unbelievable, and when it enters a tight corner, the entire vehicle bends like a gigantic steel serpent, with each articulated section smoothly following the one ahead. It almost looks impossible, yet this monster operates on real urban routes every day. And we're only getting started, because as we move further down this list, these machines begin looking less like buses and more like giant trains somehow roaming city streets. So if you're passionate about massive machines, extreme engineering, and mega infrastructure that pushes the boundaries of what's possible, welcome to Colossal Scale. But Mercedes wasn't the only company determined to build gigantic buses, because what happened next pushed the size of these vehicles to an even more outrageous level. Level 2. Van Hool AGG300 Belgium decided to build a bus so incredibly long that many people thought it simply couldn't operate in a real city. While conventional buses struggled to move large numbers of passengers efficiently, Van Hool was developing a true urban beast stretching nearly 82 feet in length. The moment it appears on the street, it steals everyone's attention. This no longer looks like a normal bus. It looks like a full-sized articulated train somehow weaving its way through city traffic. But that's where things become complicated. The bigger the vehicle became, the harder it was to control, especially when navigating tight corners. And in Europe's historic cities, where narrow streets leave almost no margin for error, that could quickly become a nightmare. To solve the problem, the AGG300 uses multiple articulated sections that move independently from one another. Without that engineering, turning would simply be impossible. Watching it round a corner is mesmerizing. The entire vehicle slowly bends and flexes like an enormous mechanical creature gliding between rows of buildings. But this giant wasn't built just to impress people. It was designed to solve one of the biggest transportation challenges modern cities face. Many metropolitan areas needed to move hundreds of passengers quickly without spending billions of dollars constructing underground subway systems. The answer was this rolling giant. Using dedicated bus lanes, it could transport passenger volumes approaching those of a light rail system without the enormous cost of laying tracks or digging tunnels. Almost overnight, cities discovered that a bus could deliver rail-like capacity while keeping the flexibility of road transportation. But that success came with its own challenges. Bus stations had to be extended, routes needed to be redesigned, and drivers required specialized training before they could safely operate a machine of this size through crowded streets. Because controlling something nearly 82 feet long has almost nothing in common with driving an ordinary city bus. Yet, even though the Van Hool AGG300 already seemed unbelievably large, we were still nowhere near the most extreme vehicles on this list. Because the next machine doesn't just look futuristic, it looks like something that escaped from tomorrow. Level 3, Hess LighTram 25. Switzerland took the idea of a giant articulated bus and transformed it into something that feels completely futuristic. While many cities continued relying on traditional public transit, Swiss engineers began building a vehicle that looked like it belonged in a science fiction movie. The first time you see it, it's hard to believe you're actually looking at a bus. The Hess LighTram 25 stretches roughly 82 feet in length, but its size isn't what makes it remarkable. Its design is. Its oversized articulated sections, its sleek, modern styling, and its whisper-quiet operation make it resemble a futuristic light rail vehicle, far more than a conventional city bus. But here's where things get interesting. As these buses became more advanced, cities also had to modernize the infrastructure around them. Operating vehicles this large required specially designed stations, optimized bus corridors, and traffic systems capable of accommodating machines on a completely different scale. Even so, many cities embraced them. The benefits were simply too significant to ignore. The LighTram could move hundreds of passengers while consuming far less energy than several smaller buses performing the same job. And in densely populated European cities where every square foot matters, that efficiency makes a tremendous difference. There's another feature that makes these giants even more impressive. Many LighTram models operate using fully electric or hybrid propulsion. That means a vehicle longer than many houses can glide almost silently through the city while carrying hundreds of passengers. Watching something this massive move with barely a sound feels strangely futuristic, especially after dark. Illuminated by city lights, it looks less like public transportation and more like a sleek capsule from the future, quietly floating through the streets. At this point, these vehicles completely redefine what urban transportation can be. It's no longer just about moving people from one place to another. Now it's about efficiency, automation, and designing cities capable of supporting increasingly larger machines. And if you think these buses are already enormous, wait until you see what happens when engineers decide that even 82 feet simply isn't enough, because the next vehicle looks like an engineering experiment that should never have worked. Level 4, AutoTram Extra Grand. If you thought buses measuring over 80 feet represented the absolute limit of urban engineering, get ready to meet the true king of length. In Germany, as cities searched for new ways to fight worsening traffic congestion, a team of engineers decided that bigger simply wasn't enough. It had to become colossal. That's how the AutoTram Extra Grand was born. Imagine a vehicle stretching well over 100 feet in length. To put that into perspective, this monster is longer than a blue whale, and even longer than many commercial aircraft. Its proportions are so outrageous that at first glance, it seems impossible that something this large could operate anywhere outside an airport runway. But it wasn't built to put on a show. It was built for one purpose: maximum efficiency. This engineering marvel can carry more than 250 passengers in a single trip. It's essentially a train that abandoned the rails and decided to conquer the streets instead. But here's the obvious question. How do you make a vehicle longer than 100 feet turn through historic city streets without scraping buildings or bringing traffic to a complete standstill? This is where German engineering borders on magic. Unlike earlier articulated buses, the AutoTram uses an advanced computer-controlled steering system across nearly all of its axles. Instead of the rear section swinging unpredictably through turns, each one precisely follows the exact path traced by the front section. The result is mesmerizing. The entire vehicle flows around corners like an intelligent steel serpent, smoothly navigating streets that seem far too small to accommodate something of this scale. It avoids blocking intersections, reduces the space needed for turning, and can negotiate surprisingly tight corners with remarkable precision. It's a masterpiece of urban mobility, one capable of delivering light rail capacity without the staggering cost of laying miles of track or excavating underground subway tunnels. For many cities, that represents savings worth hundreds of millions of dollars, while still providing high-capacity public transportation. But don't get too comfortable, because even though the AutoTram feels like the absolute limit, we're only halfway through this ranking. Subscribe now so you don't miss what's coming next, because for the next level, we're leaving Europe behind to see how an Asian superpower decided that even this wasn't nearly big enough. Level 5, Youngman JNP6280G. If you thought Europe had a monopoly on gigantic buses, that's only because you haven't seen what happens when China decides to solve its traffic problems. In the heavily congested streets of Beijing and Hangzhou, conventional buses stopped being enough a long time ago. So Chinese engineers responded with something on an entirely different scale. The Youngman JNP6280G, a massive articulated giant that completely redefines what mass transit can be. This isn't simply a long bus. It's a statement of logistical power. Stretching beyond 80 feet, the Youngman was designed with one mission: move the equivalent of a small town every single hour. Park a conventional city bus beside it, and the difference is almost laughable. The Youngman dwarfs it in every direction. Its enormous cabin can accommodate up to 300 passengers at once. It's essentially an entire city block moving across the pavement. But what truly earns this machine its place on our Colossal Scale ranking isn't just its size, it's its durability. Unlike experimental prototypes that only operate under ideal conditions, these giants work every single day on some of the busiest transit routes anywhere in the world. They endure enormous passenger loads, constant stop-and-go traffic, and mechanical stress that would quickly overwhelm a standard city bus. Watching one in operation is like witnessing a perfectly choreographed mechanical performance. Its articulated sections move together with astonishing precision, allowing this massive vehicle to snake effortlessly through dense traffic like a train that somehow escaped its rails and claimed the streets as its own. If you're enjoying this journey through some of the world's most incredible mega machines, don't forget to leave a like, because things are about to become even more futuristic. At the next level, we'll leave behind the crowded streets of Asia to discover a machine so advanced that many people mistake it for a high-speed train, somehow gliding across ordinary roads instead of rails. Level 6, Hool Exqui.City. We've reached level 6, and this is where engineering stops focusing purely on size and starts obsessing over the future. If the previous buses looked impressive, the Hool Exqui.City will make you question whether you're even looking at a bus anymore. Known around the world as the tram on wheels, one glance is all it takes to understand why. Designed in Belgium, this futuristic bi-articulated giant stretches nearly 80 feet, combining the flexibility of a bus with the efficiency and sleek styling of a high-speed train. Its streamlined body, panoramic windows, and ultra-modern design make it look like something straight out of a science fiction film. But don't let its elegant appearance fool you. Beneath that futuristic shell is a heavy-duty workhorse capable of carrying well over 150 passengers while delivering a level of comfort rarely found in urban transit. What truly earns the Exqui.City its place on Colossal Scale isn't just its appearance, it's the technology. Many versions rely on hybrid or fully electric propulsion, dramatically reducing both emissions and noise while maintaining exceptional performance. And because it doesn't require railroad tracks, cities can enjoy rail-like capacity without the staggering cost of installing permanent rail infrastructure. Even more impressive, some systems use optical guidance technology that allows the vehicle to line up with stations almost perfectly every single time, stopping with astonishing precision. Watching this silver giant glide silently through modern city streets feels almost surreal. It barely makes a sound as it moves, giving the impression that it's floating rather than driving. It's proof that massive engineering doesn't have to sacrifice elegance, power, efficiency, and futuristic design can all coexist inside one colossal machine. But as advanced as the Exqui.City may be, the next level takes a completely different approach, because instead of making buses longer, engineers decided to make them taller, and the result became one of the most controversial transportation concepts ever imagined. Level 7 Transit Elevated Bus, TEB. We've arrived at Level 7, where reality begins to blur with science fiction. Forget everything you know about traditional buses. In China, engineers faced what seemed like an impossible question. How do you introduce a gigantic bus into streets that are already completely overwhelmed by traffic? Their answer was unlike anything the world had ever seen. The Transit Elevated Bus, better known simply as the TEB. Instead of sharing the road with cars, this colossal machine was designed to drive over them, occupying the width of 2 traffic lanes and standing tall enough for passenger vehicles to pass beneath its chassis. The TEB wasn't just another bus. It was a moving megastructure. Imagine an enormous glass and steel tunnel more than 70 feet long and nearly 16 feet high, traveling above the roadway while cars continued flowing underneath without stopping. Inside, the futuristic cabin could accommodate up to 300 passengers, creating an experience that felt closer to boarding a spacecraft than riding public transportation. When footage of its test runs appeared online, it immediately captured global attention. People watched in disbelief as this giant seemingly swallowed traffic jams whole, gliding over endless lines of cars without ever getting trapped behind them. Although the project ultimately became surrounded by controversy and never achieved widespread deployment, the TEB remains one of the boldest transportation concepts ever proposed. It represents humanity's determination to rethink urban space in ways that few people ever imagined possible. This wasn't simply engineering on a colossal scale. It was engineering that added an entirely new dimension. But if you think a bus that drives over cars is the most outrageous machine you'll see today, think again, because our final level leaves public transportation behind altogether. Instead, we're about to discover a vehicle so enormous and so luxurious that calling it a bus almost feels wrong. Level 8, the double-decker rolling mansion. We've traveled across the world in search of the longest, biggest, and most technologically advanced buses ever built. But Level 8 isn't about how many passengers a vehicle can carry. It's about how much luxury can fit inside a colossal machine. Forget everything you know about RVs and cross-country road trips. Welcome to the ultimate rolling mansion, a 2-story titan that completely redefines what it means to live on wheels. This isn't a bus you'll ever find at a transit stop. It's a privately owned megastructure that can stretch nearly 46 feet in length and stand over 13 feet tall, using every square inch of its interior to deliver more living space than many luxury apartments in New York City. Connected by beautifully designed staircases, these engineering masterpieces feature presidential-style master suites, bathrooms finished with premium natural stone, fully equipped gourmet kitchens, spacious living areas, and entertainment systems that rival private movie theaters. But what truly elevates this level is its expandable engineering. Once parked, many of these giants deploy hydraulic slide-out systems that dramatically widen the living area, transforming what appears to be an oversized vehicle into a luxury residence, offering more than 860 square feet of usable interior space. Some models even include a dedicated lower-level garage large enough to transport a high-performance sports car, allowing owners to bring both their home and their favorite vehicle wherever the road takes them. It is the undisputed monarch of the highway, a breathtaking combination of brute strength, cutting-edge engineering, and uncompromising luxury that seems to challenge the laws of physics every time it rounds a corner. It's the ultimate reminder that when it comes to colossal engineering, the real limit isn't the pavement beneath our wheels. It's the imagination of the people bold enough to build the impossible. Watching these incredible machines in motion reminds us that engineering knows no boundaries when humanity decides to conquer distance, space, and scale. From gigantic steel serpents weaving through centuries-old European streets to futuristic transit systems that attempted to drive over traffic itself, to 2-story rolling mansions that blur the line between vehicle and luxury home. Every one of these machines represents humanity's relentless drive to think bigger, build bigger, and push beyond what once seemed impossible. Now it's your turn. Which one of these incredible giants would you actually want to travel in? Or do you think machines this massive have simply become too big for modern cities? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We read every one of them. And if you're passionate about engineering that defies logic, machines that rewrite the rules of design, and mega projects built on a truly colossal scale, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to Colossal Scale. Turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey into the biggest, most powerful, and most extraordinary machines on Earth. We'll see you in the next one.